So today we are beginning with the transponders. It's a very important device used in satellite. And before proceeding it, let's discuss about what we have already covered. So if we talk about like startingly, we have talked about basically the orbital theory of the satellite. Then we talked about the kind of a losses. Then we talked about the kind of an antenna requirement. Then we worked with the section where we have the atmospheric effects. We worked upon the effect of rain, effect of weather, effect of the ice, like everything we talked about. It means we had a discussions on that. Suppose we have a transmitter at the Earth station, we have a receiver at the satellite, and vice versa. So, what other factors in between that may affect the communication? So, once we worked on that, then we worked and we discussed about the kind of a links that has to be established between the transmitter and as well as the receiver between a satellite and a Earth station. It might be possible that Earth station may be a transmitter and Earth station may be a receiver, depending upon where we are sending and who is going to get the benefit of this one. After completion of all this one, we got that multiple access. If suppose we are setting up a link between transmitter and a receiver of a satellite or a Earth station, then at that time there's a requirement of that how many user can access that communication link. So setting up of all these things requires called as a multiple access technique. So in the previous discussion, we have gone through the multiple access techniques and we work upon that, the TDMA, FDMA, and the CDMA. We work that. So that all are here with the recorded version of the classes that are available on the channel. So today we are going to proceed with another very interesting topic, which is the transport. If you go here, that's a very important part of the satellite, which is going to work to make it as a transmitter as well as the receiver. So let's start a discussion on it. So first of all, we'll go for exactly the transponder. So if suppose we are breaking up this word transponder, so we understand that it is transmitter and a responder. It means a device which can change its behavior as per the requirement. Because you just feel like that at the satellite we have a something, we have someone who is taking care of all the signals which are being received and who is taking care of all the signal which is to be sent somewhere. So this is a basically nothing but an intermediate step between your earth station. And so because actually you want to communicate on earth, you do not have any signal, you are not going to communicate with someone who is sitting in a space. Nobody is in a space. You are using this space for the purpose the person who are having a far distance apart communication on earth's surface, that is easily be located with the help of a with the help of a satellite. So this satellite is watching both transmitter as well as the receiver. So it is easy. So rather than finding it's this long distance communication between 2 points on earth station which are not visible to each other, it's better to give your signal to someone who is watching both transmitter as well as. This is exactly the utility of the. And once we are talking about the satellite, so obviously it receives signals from the earth station and then transmit all those signals to the place where we have the receiver section or the station which is basically at called as a ground. So now exactly we are working here to work upon this phenomena, how it can be existed. So in this sequence, first terminology which comes to make this process very easy is called transponder. Transmitter and responder. So exactly what it can be, it may be called as it is a repeater in space. What else it can do? Repeater. Repeater, it means whatever the signal it is receiving, it is doing the same functioning of the signal what the transmitter has done already on Earth space. It means just take an example. If suppose I have a voice signal and I'm sending this voice signal to the satellite. While I'm sending the signal to the satellite, then at the satellite, whatever the losses because of the atmosphere, because of the rain effect, whatever the changes, whatever the frequency translation, whatever the things has happened, that has to be recovered at the transponder. So that's why they're being called as a the word repeater in space. So they repeat the signal whenever it is required, exactly in its current form or maybe in modified. So the modification may be done in terms of frequency conversion because we are using an uplink frequency and the downlink frequency, both are different from each other. This we are doing only because of the reason, we are doing this only because of the reason that this frequency is going to be interfere with each other if it is not different from going up or going down. So the second task, the first task is repeating the signal. Second task, it has to convert the frequency because whatever it is sending to the ground, earth station, and whatever it is receiving from the earth, both should have a different frequency so that the interference should not isolate neighboring RF channel. That's the more important because we are not alone in space. So many satellites are working there. So many other channels may be working. So your signal should remain secured and non-interfered. That requires an isolation process. So this isolation from the neighboring RF channels, it is also done by transponder bandwidth depends upon nature of signal, multiple access. Now that's important part because if we say here, if we are talking about a transponder, so it has to have a certain bandwidth. So bandwidth, it means a range of frequency over which it can work, it can persist very easily. It means if a transponder has a 2 gigahertz of bandwidth, it means signal range from certain gigahertz to another gigahertz can easily be executed, can easily be performed, can easily be worked very easily within the transponder. So this bandwidth depends upon what kind of a signal you're sending up, whether you're working for the GPS signal, whether you are having some sort of the security signals, whether you are locating, whether you're having a remote sensing, or you are just simply setting up a communication link. So, or you are having a like D2H applications, or you are having a satellite mobile services. So, whatever the application is there, whatever the application will be used by the satellite, we have to create a transponder of that. Second, if suppose we are having a certain link from Earth to satellite, suppose we have this, take an example, then we have to think upon what should we keep the bandwidth of transponder. So one more thing is there, how many users are going to access this one? That comes from the phenomena of multiple access. So what kind of a technique you are going to incorporate so that this multiple access will be allowed? So that has to be decided earlier. When we are setting up the link, when you're designing a link, then you have to think upon the transponder, then you have to think about the transponder bandwidth. And while you are thinking upon the transponder bandwidth, you have to take care about that this transponder bandwidth should be depending upon first, what is the frequency of application? That is called as the nature of signal. And second, multiple access technique you are going to use. So that's basically the two important. Now the same one we go for what it looks like. So it's a very simple kind of a diagram, very simple layout structure. That's important to understand. See, always a layout or block diagram help us to let us know what exactly the flow of movement. So that is important. So always just emphasize on this kind of a blocks because a block may have inbuilt circuitry, a complex circuitry that we cannot show everywhere, but a block has a certain function, and that function is important. So first of all, let's start with from here. From Earth station, we have a certain frequency starting from certain of gigahertz to 14 of gigahertz, whatever the frequency we are providing, whether it is a 6 or 14. Now, this is basically a representation of an antenna. Then we are reaching up here and we are getting this band pass filter. So whatever the band you want to transmit, that should stay there. And whatever the band basically you want to reject, that should become the band pass filter. So generally at the receiver side, whenever we have a receivers, so receivers always work with the band pass filters. Why? Because it might be possible that other than your frequency of application, many other user may be coming up here. Just take an example. Like during this session, we are having a certain uh, understanding of transponder. Might be possible during that some other noises may be there, but those are really interested to understand this one, so they are listening only this transponder. The other voice and other noises may be distracted from here. So at the receiver it is very very important that we should have a band pass. So whatever the band of application you require, that only be accepted by the receiver. Then we require a low noise amplifier. We have low noise amplifier. This is called as a LNA. This low noise amplifier is creating amplification process, which creating a lesser amount of noise. Then it has been converted into the RF. This is all about we are working for the transponder model. Then we have a radio frequency come up here. Now, if you see here, in this frequency translator, we have a mixer, we have a microwave shift oscillator. So that kind of a mixing is there. And our frequency translation can easily be done, easily through the modulation process, because modulation it itself also a frequency translation. You have a certain signal of several of kilohertz, only like a voice signal. And what you're doing, you're converting this voice signal into a certain frequency, which is a carrier frequency of megahertz. So now you're putting your original signal on this particular carrier frequency. So this is nothing but a simple a modulation process. So what you have to do, you have to only create a carrier frequency. You have to change a carrier frequency. Signal is that original signal. Just retrieve your signal, put on a carrier, send it there. And whatever the carrier frequency you choose, that will be the frequency of downlink, and that will be the frequency of uplink. Simple process. So, second part of transponder, important. Second part of transponder is called as a frequency translator. This frequency translator is nothing but it is consisting of mixer, which is mixing up another frequency. And then finally, we are filtering it out, creating again, extracting additional frequencies out, and then it becomes a zero. And then it is sending to the downstream. So this is basically TWT, called as a twisted wave tube. So low power amplifier is there, and then after we are sending to the earth station by translating a frequency. So this is a simple kind of a very simple layout of transponder, which is showing you a receiver, a frequency translator, or a transmitter. If you see this section is called as a responder section, and this particular section is called as a transmitting section. Also, if suppose you want to get the more conversion, so it might be possible the multiple unit of the transponder may be a part of a satellite, because that signal may be utilized multiple times because of the multiple reasons. So this is also called as a particular signal to be transmitted. So this is exactly the working model of a transponder. Simple. So this is exactly a kind of a model. Let's move on. What kind of a transponder we may have? Non-regenerative transponder and regenerative transponder. So this regeneration, what exactly that means? Regeneration is called reconditioning, recreation, and creation of a signal in all. Like if suppose anyhow a signal has been lost on the basis of the available attributes, whatever the attributes, on the basis of available attributes, the signal has to be transmitted again. So this is called as a generation. So broadly, we are dividing these transponder into the two category. So the one is called as a generative, and second is called as a non-regenerative. First coming up this non-regenerative transponder. It translates the frequency of the received signals and amplifies them. Translate and amplify, but applies no other deliberate processing before transmission. It means it just only receives the signals and transmits and converts and requires some sort of the amplification it does, but it cannot edit the signal, the original message signal in any other form. So that is not allowed. It is simply working as a frequency converter. It provides necessary power for transmission. This is quasi-linear repeater transponder, the quasi-linear transponder. So ultimately, what is the conclusion of non-regenerative transponder? Simple thing. It cannot create any part of message. What it can do? It can change the frequency of application. One thing. What it can do? It can provide an amplification process that can be possible. It receives the signal and require the necessary power and retransmit to the earth station. This is exactly the non-regenerative transfer. This kind of a situation is there. If we see here the non-regenerative, it's a very again simple diagram we go for. So this is transmitting earth station. We are having an uplink. We are having a receiving antenna. First of all, BPF, band pass filters were there. Then we have a low noise amplifier we have already talked about. We have a converter frequency with the help of this. We have a mixers, power amplifier, output mixer, and transmitting antenna coming. So this is exactly the satellite repeater. It's a very simple diagram. The same diagram we have already discussed in the block diagram. It's a very, very same. So let's move on. Check it again. Regenerative, uplink demodulation, reformatting and error correction, downlink remodulation, amplification, and transmission. So uplink demodulation. Suppose a signal is just coming up. So what it is doing? It is receiving the signal and extracting the original message signal from the carrier frequency. That is done by the region. So first of all, what capability it has? Important, very, very important. Just take care. It can segregate original message signal from the carrier. So it segregates. So now it has a message signal. Now it check whether this message signal is in a proper adequate condition or not. So that has to be checked by what? Finding out the error and its format. Like suppose during this, if suppose I'm just broadcasting this particular session uh, everywhere through like live broadcasting, so it might be possible because of the many factors associated with the transmission. My original signal, my original voice may be disrupted. Some of the part of the video may be clipped off, some of the part of the data, which is a slide, may be clipped off, some of the part of audio. Basically, this particular broadcasting consists in three parts: my audio, my video, and basically the data, which is being represented in the form of a slide. So if suppose this is basically is being represented, then what one has to do? If any error comes in anything, so the regenerative transponder has a capability to extract original message signal, and after extraction of this original message signal, what it can do? It can reformat it. If any clipping is there and a disturbance is there, it can easily reform. Then downlink remodulation is there, error correction is there, and remodulate, amplify, and transmit. This is exactly the regenerative. So if we see here a simple kind of a layout here, so additionally what we are getting, this is we have LNA, and before that you can add the BPF is the same band pass filter. Mixer we have. Now additionally we have this section which is a demodulation, and then we have a carrier, we have a regeneration process. So carrier regeneration and a modulation process. So if you see here demodulation, modulation, carrier regeneration process is there, and that exactly the special part of regenerative. So this is a regenerative transponder consisting modulation and a demodulation process within it. So what are basically where it can be utilized, what exactly the part of this one, that's more important. So let's talk about basically the applications of this one. So if we talk about the application of this is one of the wonderful application we have in satellite communication, we have in aviation sector. See, first of all, transponder is an automatic device. It means it is working like in the absence of human intervention. It is acting like a automatic system who is checking up your signal if it is regenerative and resending it. So it is absolutely creating a vacant position filled up when the humans are not there. So where it may be required, obviously, wherever the automation is there, where is the transmission and the reception of the signal is there, where is itself a signal is to be used, processed, and required to send somewhere, and it is used. So this is all about related with the transponder application. If we talk about satellite communication is the one of the best example. We have always this transponders. Then we have aviations. In aviations, we have automotives. If we talk about the automotives, automatic cars are there which are connected with the GPS systems. There it may also be required one. So this is very very important. So that has to be taken care. Then defense actions. Obviously, this is again some self automation signal has to be retrieved, checked, modified, and so on. And having this DTH. So DTH connection, we all know that this is also. So actually, if we talk about the transponder is being placed at a station where there is no human, and it has to take the decision on its basis. If it is receiving some signal, it has to check the signal and then transfer. This is exactly overall of the transponder. So I hope so. This is all about basically started with the transponder. We have worked with this one. So any one of you is just finding any sort of the difficulty among any content like what is a transponder, what is working, how the transponder work, what are the types and what are the applications. It feels like that this session is absolutely open and may raise up your queries. Rest. Thank you very much. Absolutely, this is a very wonderful topic. To understand that this is a very highly yeah, utility type of topic because this is a transponder, and so many people are working in the research areas, so designing a different kind of a transponders. And using this such kind of a transponder, you can make your devices very automatic. Those are communicating with each other. So this is basically a high utility. I'm just making this session open so that if anybody feels anything, you can raise up your queries.